Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a Valentine's Day tutorial, and as I was coming up with what exactly I wanted to do for this look, I just really felt like doing something fresh. I wanted to really focus on the skin. I wanted to do like my current favorite kind of makeup look, and that means a little bit less on the face, just really mesmerizing eyes, but they're still really simple. We're going to play with pink tones. I'm also going to do a really nice kissable lip. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to kind of create something that's clean, fresh, flirty. That's my personal kind of favorite look. I want to keep it pretty natural. Anybody can do this. It's going to be very easy. I'm also going to have affordable and high-end options so that you guys can recreate this look with anything you guys have at home, or if you need some suggestions, that'll be linked down below in the description box. So here's the before and after so you guys can see exactly what we're getting into. I just want it to be really healthy, fresh, glowy. I want to feel pretty. I don't want to feel like I have too much makeup on Valentine's Day, but I want to feel polished, you know? So let's get right into it. If you've noticed, I don't have my brows on today, and that's because I'm going to show you something that I have been really into the past few days. And it's a different way of doing my brows than I normally do, but I will have to do them in a moment. So we're going to do the complexion first today because that's what's going to be the focus of this look. I'm not going to have to worry about too much fallout on the eyes, so we're going to start there. I really wanted to start with a super glowy base, so just use any glowy primer that you've got. I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is something that I recently re-picked up this month because I had been watching several tutorials on YouTube and a lot of people have really loved this, and I've tried it before. And it kind of just like went back to the back of my drawers, and after I watched those videos, I really wanted to bring it back out again, and I've really been liking what it does for my skin. So I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that out with a brush. You can use your fingers if you want to, but again, you just want to use anything that's going to create a luminous base underneath your makeup. That's going to create a really nice effect and give a really nice glowy end result. So I'm just buffing this out. As you can see, it made my skin so pretty, so glowy. I love it so much. And now we're gonna go into foundation. I really don't want to use that much foundation. I thought that I would wear the Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation. Isn't that what this is called? This one that I recently reviewed. I have been using this quite a bit since I reviewed it, which means that I have been liking it. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna be using a brush that's going to have a little bit less coverage to it. This one is from Bare Minerals. It's the Smoothing Face Brush, and I'm just gonna take it from the back of my hand instead of dotting it on my face. I'm just gonna take a little bit off of the back of my hand, and I'm gonna start to just kind of buff this along the skin, and I'm really gonna try to make a little bit go a long way so that we have as much skin showing through as possible. I want my skin to look really good. Like, I want my husband to be like, oh wow, your skin looks amazing, instead of being afraid to like touch my face because I have so much makeup on. That's just personally the kind of looks I like to wear on Valentine's Day usually. I love a good Valentine's Day glam. Like, I love a good bold eye. So you guys can seriously do whatever you want on Valentine's Day, whatever floats your boat. This is just how I'm feeling this year. So I'm just buffing that out all over the skin until I have a pretty even coat along the entire face. I'm gonna make sure to go down the neck as well and the jawline. That way you avoid the stark foundation line and it helps it look even more skin-like. I'm gonna take what's left on my hand and also what's left on the brush, and I'm gonna take that on my sponge, and I'm gonna go over the entire face with the sponge just to press this into the skin a little bit more. That'll just help get rid of any brush lines that are left. It'll pick up any excess product, and it will leave our face with a nice glowy finish. I just realized I totally forgot to put on a primer that I wanted to try. Okay, I might layer it in the T-zone because I really want to see how it looks, and then maybe I'll put a little bit more foundation there and then go over it with concealer. I really wanted to try this Lancome Blur Stick out. Desi Perkins recently mentioned this in one of her latest videos, saying that she feels like it's an airbrush in a bottle, and so I really was meaning to do this because I really wanted to try it out. It's going to remove some of the foundation around this area, but we're just gonna go with it. So I'm just applying that to where my pores are pretty large in this area here. And then I'm gonna take the tiniest bit of foundation and I'm gonna go in with my sponge and I'm gonna try to layer that right on top. I'm not sure if that's the best way to see how that primer worked, but I really wanted to try it. All right, now that we have the complexion evened out, it's not quite as flawless as I personally would want it to be. So I'm gonna go into my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind concealers, and I'm just gonna use a little bit less than I would normally use with this. This concealer is pretty full coverage. So we're gonna start with just a little bit, and I'm gonna go under the eyes, starting with about that much product. And then I'm going to take my sponge and blend this out again. If we need to build up coverage, I will. But again, I really want it to look like it's just my skin today. So we're going for a less is more approach with every skin product. I'm gonna add a tiny bit more, just kind of towards the hollows of the eye where I get the most darkness. And I'm just layering that up there so that our eyes are nice and bright underneath, but light enough to where it still shows a little bit of skin underneath. All right, I'm going to dot a little bit of this lighter shade on the blemishes first. I'm gonna mix them a little bit with a deeper shade right after. I'm also going to cover up a little bit in the T-zone here. This is in the shade Fair, by the way. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the shade Light and kind of press over those exact same areas. This is just where I have a little bit more redness, maybe some small blemishes, and I want to just kind of cancel those out a little bit more. So now I'm just going to go ahead and go over all of those areas on the cheeks with that same sponge. I'm going to take what's left on the sponge and just lightly press on the eyelid to try to cancel out any redness or veins that I have there, just like that. And then I'm going to go into the Too Faced Ethereal Setting Powder, and I'm just going to go ahead and start to press this lightly underneath the eye area. The thing that I'm kind of liking about this powder is there's a tiny bit of a sheen to it. Like, it's not a completely matte powder, which I really like, especially under the eye area. I just feel like it helps keep the skin looking more natural. So I'm going over everything really, really lightly. I'm also setting the eyelids to prep it for eyeshadow. And then I'm just going to take a larger brush with that same exact powder, and I'm going to set the rest of the face because I want the coverage there. So I do like to set the entire face. Plus, I don't want any makeup to transfer. So this is an important step for me. I'm just going to go ahead and set the rest of the face. So some of you may know about my love for finishing powders right now. This is another kind of translucent powder, but it has a lot more glow to it. And after I set my face, I've been really enjoying going over everything again with a finishing powder. And what this does is it just adds back in that glow that we might be missing now that we set the face with powder. It just kind of brings that back. This one's from Milani. It's the Prep and Set and Glow Illuminating Transparent Powder. It's a really nice drugstore option. I also love the Candle Lip Powder from Laura Mercier. The Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powders will do kind of the same thing. So I'm just gonna buff over the skin with this. So I want to add some warmth back into the skin. I'm going to use the Maybelline City Bronzer again. I used this in my last video, and so far so good. I really liked it. So I'm just going to use a fluffier brush just to kind of lay down the color on a larger part of the face first. And I'm going to take it up through the forehead, into the hairline, along the temples a little bit, and under the cheeks, of course. I like to go down the jawline and down the neck as well. And I'm just layering it until I get the intensity that I want. You guys know I always add bronzer at the end as well. So if it's not perfect yet, that's fine. But I just want to kind of get a basic overall glow. I'm also going to take a little bit and run it down the sides of my nose, as well as the end of the nose and under the lip. And I always like to take whatever brush I used with translucent powder and just buff over everything really lightly so that everything on the complexion blends together seamlessly. I wanted to layer bronzers today, and I'm going to use the Milani Baked Bronzer in the shade 05 Soleil. This is a baked formula, just like the title says, and it's got a little bit more glow to it. So I don't really want to add too much, but I do want to add enough to where it kind of picks up when the light hits it. So I'm just lightly sweeping that on the forehead and the cheeks. So I'm actually going to kind of work backwards because we're going to go into highlighter and then we're going to go into blush. I haven't had a chance to tell you guys about this on camera yet. I just purchased it a couple weeks ago. It's the Dior Backstage Glow Face Palette. This has been on my wish list for forever. I finally took the plunge. It's Dior, so it's a little bit pricey. Actually, this palette is around the $40-something range. So it's high end. It's not insane, but it's definitely a little bit more of an investment. But you guys, it's gorgeous. I'm so happy I picked this up. I've been getting so much use out of it. And on Valentine's Day, sometimes it's really fun to kind of treat yourself. And so I'm going to treat myself with a Dior highlight in this tutorial. I love to layer these. I'm going to start off with the gold shade, and this is going to cover a larger part of the face. So I'm just taking a brush and I'm going to start to build this up in a C shape around the eyebrow, down on the cheeks, just building it lightly until I get it to the intensity that I want. I also like a little glow on the front of the cheeks. I'm also going to run a little bit of that down the center of the nose and a little bit of that on the cupid's bow. Next, I'm going to go in with this shade with a smaller brush, and I'm really going to start to emphasize the highest points of the face, going right over what we just applied. And if I feel like the edges are visible, I like to just go in with my finger really lightly and kind of buff that out a little bit. I'm also going to layer that over the cupid's bow and down the center of the nose a little bit right here. And I also brought it underneath the brow, even though our brows aren't done yet, just to lift that area up a little bit. I'm going to take the translucent powder brush and just kind of tame it down in the center of the face right here. Look how pretty! I love this highlighter, or I guess these highlighters. There's multiple. All right, for blush, we're going to go into the Bare Minerals Gen Nude Blush in the shade Pink Me Up. This is such a good pink color. I just adore it. So I'm just going to take that on a Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH06 brush, and I'm going to smile, and we're going to start to apply that really lightly on the apples of the cheeks. And I want to really build it up just so that it looks as natural as possible. And this time I am actually going to bring it back pretty far on the face, even up towards the temples a little bit, just to create a little bit more of an all-over romantic flush. And it's okay if your brush goes over the highlighter. That's kind of the point of putting the highlighter on first, so that everything blends together really nicely. All right, I think I want to do brows so that we can frame the face, and then we'll do the eyes, and then we'll finish with the lips. All right, I'm actually going to take a bar of soap. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of soap brows. I have heard of it for the longest time, but I never actually tried it with a bar of soap until earlier this week. So I'm just gonna spray the soap a little bit with some Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. I lost my spoolie that I was using, so I'm just gonna use the back of my brow pencil, and I'm just gonna kind of get a little bit of soap on the spoolie. And then we're gonna brush the soap through the brows, and it's going to make them look very, very feathery, but that's kind of the point of this. Okay, once the brows are brushed up, you're gonna go in with either a pencil or a pomade. I've been using a pomade when I do this, so I'm gonna let the soap kind of dry down a little bit, and then I'm gonna go into the Benefit Brow Gel in the shade 3.5, and I'm just gonna use this with an angled brush, and we're gonna create really small strokes through the brows. Starting with this outer edge here, I'm just kind of going in hair-like strokes with my angled brush, and we're just gonna slowly start to build the shape of the brow. One little stroke at a time. This is a little bit more tedious and more time consuming than how I normally apply the brows, but the result is really soft and really feminine, so I really wanted to do this brow look for this particular makeup look. I'm just brushing back through to make sure that we didn't lose any of that feathery texture. All right, I think that's where I'm going to stop for now. We can always add a little bit more when the look is completely done if I feel like I need a little more brow, but I just feel like that's a really nice, super, super natural looking brow. It's not carved out, it just looks like really natural and feathery, and I just think that that complements fresh, dewy skin really nicely. All right, for the eyes, I'm actually going to use the same blush that we used on the cheeks. And I just feel like this really makes the most beautiful canvas and base for the next product I'm gonna use. But I think there's just something about using blush on your eyes that really, really pulls the whole look together. It makes it a little bit more romantic, it makes it more monochromatic. So I'm just taking a brush and I'm applying this product through the crease. I love this blush for the eyes because I feel like there's certain blushes that are really subtle, and this is still subtle, but it's bold enough that it shows up pretty well, and like I feel like it looks really pretty as an eyeshadow. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same thing on this eye. And I'm also taking that same brush and running the blush underneath the lower lash line just to kind of define that area a little bit too. Don't be afraid to drag it out toward the end of the brow quite a bit. When it blends back into the skin, I feel like it just kind of melts into the cheeks, which goes back into the blush on the cheeks, and it just looks really nice. So don't be afraid to really wing it out on this outer corner. I'm just taking a little bit of what's left on the brush, and I'm going across the entire eyelid for a subtle wash of pink all over the lid. All right, this step is optional. You could totally just go into mascara, but I really love glitter on the eyes, but I wanted something that wasn't going to be like scary glitter for Valentine's Day. You guys actually recommended that I go pick up this Stila Glitter and Glow eyeshadow in the shade Wanderlust, so that's what this is, and that's what I'm gonna wear today. It's got a little bit of a finer glitter to it, but it's pink and gold. It's so pretty, and it's just something that will add a little bit of an extra special twist to this look. But again, if you guys are not into wearing glitter, you could totally just go straight into mascara. I'm just gonna pat a little bit on the lid and then take my finger and really blend this out because I don't want too much. I just want my eyes to look really mesmerizing and I want them to have a soft sheen to them. So I'm just gonna keep layering that, patting it out with my fingertip along the inner portion of the lid, and I'm stopping a little bit past halfway on the eyelid, blending it out with my finger. This would also be a good way to transition your Valentine's Day look from day to night. Say you have something really simple on the eyes and then you're going out to dinner, just pop on a little bit of glitter on the lid, retouch your mascara or your lipstick, and then you're left with a natural yet glamorous makeup look. All right, let's go into mascara. I wanted the lashes to really be a statement. I love bold lashes, so I knew I wanted to use this mascara for this look. It's the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise Mascara. Honestly, no other mascara builds on my lashes the way that this does, and I love it for special occasions, and so I'm just going to layer this, and I'm gonna really take my time to layer up 2 to 3 coats on the top and bottom lashes just to make sure that my lashes look very voluminous. So I'm just gonna spend a little bit of time on my lashes and I'll be right back. All right, mascara is on. I'm gonna take a little bit more blush and just add it on this outer portion of the top lid. And I'm also gonna buff a little bit more on the edge of the outer corner of the lower lash line. All right, I'm gonna wipe off any foundation that got on the lips. There's not that much, but just so we have a nice clean canvas, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I told you guys in my last favorites video about this lip combo, and I really wanted to just show you what it looks like. You could totally just do a lip liner and some lip balm. I feel like that would be a really nice fresh lip that you wouldn't have to worry about, and it would fade really nicely. This is also a lip combo that fades really nicely, so that's why I'm gonna do it today. But I'm gonna take the MAC Subculture lip liner, and I'm just gonna line and fill in the lips with this. This lip liner is so pretty. I'm seriously so obsessed. See how you could totally put a lip balm on this and it would be beautiful? But I am going to show you the Bobbi Brown Crushed Liquid Lip in the shade Lychee Baby. Lychee. I don't know which one. I've heard people pronounce it differently, but I'm just going to go ahead and layer this on top. And since it's a lighter color, I like to layer some on and then I will press it in with my finger, just because I feel like that really helps it blend in. I love the texture of these lip colors because again, they give you so much pigment. There's a lot of color payoff, but it's not going to look glossy or gloopy, and it feels like a lip balm. It's hydrating, so I feel like it's a perfect lip color to wear on Valentine's Day. This is definitely what I'm going to be wearing, just because it's going to fade nice too. And it's something that you can keep in your bag if you're out on a date, and it's so easy to reapply and just a foolproof lip product. All right, we're going to assess the situation. I'm going to take a little bit more of my Maybelline City Bronzer, and we're really going to add more to the cheeks. I just really want to look healthy and bronzed. And if you're taking any photos, you want to make sure that you've got enough contour, soft contour, you know, for the photos so that you don't look washed out. I think I'm gonna take the brush that we used for highlighter and take some bronzer and just kind of pop it in the crease slightly to deepen that area a little bit, maybe a little under here. Just a tiny bit to kind of tie everything together a little more. Here comes the big fluffy brush to make sure that everything's blended again. I'm actually gonna take a little bit of translucent powder. And you know that technique where people bake underneath the jawline? I'm not baking, I'm just kind of dusting it under the jawline to sharpen that up a little bit, just so it's a little more subtle. And then I am gonna add more highlighter. I just feel like at night, if you're out to dinner, a really beautiful highlighter is going to catch the light so nicely. So I personally will wear quite a bit of highlighter on Valentine's Day. All right, and then I really wanted to use this pink highlighter for the inner corner of the eye. I've been seriously so into a more pink inner corner, and I just feel like this is a really pretty option. I like to layer them, so I'm gonna do this and then I'll pop on a little bit of the white on top. And I'm bringing the pink one up higher to connect with the existing shadow or blush in this case. And I'm also bringing it along the lower lash line a little. Now I'm dipping into the white shade, and this is just gonna kind of lighten it up a little bit so it's not such a dark pink, and it will add even more dimension there. I just really like a glowy inner corner highlight. And then I'm gonna take what's left on the brush and just pop that underneath the brow to further define that. I'm actually going to take my pinky and just kind of pat that in a little bit so it's not as intense. I'm just creating some more hair-like strokes on the end of the brow with a pencil because that's where I'm missing the most brow hairs and I really don't want to lose that shape. So I'm just quickly adding a few hair strokes from the center of the brow out. Okay, that escalated quickly. I'm kind of adding a couple toward the front of the brows as well. I'm still making sure to do really nice hair-like strokes to match what we already had going on. Alrighty folks, I'm pretty sure we're done here. I'm just adding a little bit of blush, just whatever's left on the brush, because blush seems to be the one thing that fades first. So if you're gonna be out for a while, pop on a tiny bit more blush than what you normally would, just to make sure that doesn't go away. All right, we're going to do my 3-step setting routine because we need this to last all night long. I'm gonna go in with the MAC Fix Plus first to smooth everything. I'm gonna take my fan and I really lightly press down on the skin. That melts the highlight in so well. It's so pretty. And then we need to make sure that it lasts all night, so then we layer it with the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. And I'm very generous with the setting sprays. It really makes a difference. And I do the same thing, let that dry, and I also press down really lightly on the skin to make sure that everything stays in place. So now I'm just going to take a tiny bit of the Too Faced translucent powder that we used, and I'm going to lock in the smile lines, the chin. I'm going to take a little bit in the center of the forehead here, just basically all the areas that I don't want a lot of shine, but I'm going to keep this area of the face really, really glowy. And then say I were to go out to dinner tonight, I would probably take a blotting powder of some sort. I've been really into the Fenty blotting powder. I just feel like it's a nice little compact. It has a little foam applicator, and I just kind of press that in the T-zone throughout the night. So something like that would be great to take with you. I'm going to take the hair down. There's a couple little indents in my hair from wearing it up. I'll probably do my hair for Valentine's Day, probably. No promises. I'm still like pushing it out of my face. But I wanted to move closer to the camera, hi, and I wanted to give you guys a closer look at everything because I know you guys like close-up shots sometimes, so I wanted to show you up close what it looks like. There's really not that much product as far as foundation and concealer goes, which I think really adds something special to this look. It looks fresh, but it still looks glam, which is exactly what I wanted. And then that highlighter just is so good. It's so beautiful. This look is soft, flirty, romantic. I love it so much, and I hope you guys did too. So that completes this look. Let me know in the comments below what kind of makeup look you're going to wear for Valentine's Day. Are you gonna do something soft like this, or are you going full on bold? Like, are you gonna wear a bold lip? Because I think that's really cool too on Valentine's Day. My hair, honestly. So let me know what you guys are going to be wearing in the comments below. As always, if you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love to have you join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. If you're already a subscriber, go ahead and click on the notification bell, and that just means on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, you'll be notified every single time I post my video. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks for always coming back to my channel and for watching my videos. Happy early Valentine's Day, and I will see you all in my next video. Love you. Bye!